But I went into it with that mindset. Like I went into it with the mindset, like this is not just about exercise. This is not just about like, it has to be like, I went down the rabbit hole and I just learned about me, why. And if you see your question, I'm like, just why, why do you kill us every day?
I love it. Well, I think as
It's
well,
so sadistic.
one of the things I always heard, I heard Jordan Peterson say years ago was he said, in order for you to sell something, they have to be on fire and you have to be selling water. Like if they're not on fire and you're not selling water, you're not going to sell anything. And so I always remember that, in future. And the reality is of like, there's about would you believe there's 900 members of the app? Like that's how many members of the
Wow.
app we have, 900. But there's only probably about 10% of people actually using the app currently. And I know that because of we can see the activity logs, but also the community, and how many people are posting in the community. So it's just, that's one of the things I have learned though. I buy things because I think, oh, I want to do that. I want to learn Spanish. I want to this, I want to whatever. And so you buy an app and you sign up for it and you mean to start it tomorrow. And it seems like a nice to have, but unless you're on fire, you ain't starting that app. You're not starting that workout program. You're just not going to be doing it. You have to be on fire to actually make it happen. So clearly you were on fire and we had the water. And here we are.
But even I will tell you, like you said, because I've done several of your programs, but this one hit different. This one hit really, really different. And
Why do
like I
you
said,
think?
and I've paid thousands of dollars for your programs.
I
And
know you
I
have.
don't, like I said, I don't know a pivotal moment for me was, like I said, you've seen, like I said, I've shared my video for you. Like I should not be on this planet. But like I said, with me and the transparency with you and Laura, it just hit different. It hit different. Like I've been given a second chance. And to see that vulnerability with Laura losing her brother, and like I said, I've had other people lose friends and I've lost friends, but I was like, get your fucking shit together. Like, get your shit together. You've dealt with a lot of shit and you have to start to think, what is this happening? What is this doing for me? Not why is this happening to me? Get out of the victim mentality. And I was a victim, but there's so much more. There's just,
Yeah.
like I said, so,
Well, you were
but
lucky
yeah.
to have that reawakening, if you like. I think it's sometimes that like our greatest the thing that's like the worst thing that we can ever think would happen to us is actually ends up being one of the best things, doesn't it? Gives us like an awakening.
Oh, it is. And like I said, the fact that I've been dead and buried under an automobile, like it doesn't register like that. It doesn't,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, so
Yeah.
life is good. So
Love it. Gives
life
you
is good.
perspective. Right. So you have questions here. Why? Why? Just why? There must be a sense of joy when you smile during these workouts, knowing we are dying. Do you know what the funny thing about the workouts is, the ones I'm recording at the minute? I'm having so much fun recording them, but sometimes I do them and I go, I wonder, are these too hard for people? Because I'm struggling. And so then I think, I wonder, are they too difficult? I wonder, should I ease it back a little bit? But I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to do something, like I want to do it, I want it to be hard. I want it to feel like it's working. And so I am kind of like, I wonder, should I create a slightly easier workout program for people who
No, no.
don't want to kill themselves? Okay, so but right, what else have you got here? To cryo or not to cryo? You mean cryotherapy?
Yeah, yeah.
Plateau, how to break, increase cortisol from too much cardio versus low intensity, steady state. So tell me your question. What is it your
So I'll tell you what I did is I started HRT therapy and it was something I never did. But I know based on like my lab work, I just had my repeat lab work on. I am eating estrogen like nobody's business. So every time, like this is my second pellet therapy. Now we do those here in the United States. I don't know if you guys do those or not, but
maybe I'm not
based
sure.
on that, she's gone way up on my estrogen. So like now I'm at that point where I'm like, I just have this loose skin and it's really driving me batshit crazy because I've put on, like I said, I mean, I've put on a lot of muscle,
You have, yeah.
but I got a little bit of bat wing here, a little
Yeah.
bit.
So annoying.
So that's my thing. And then I can't, like, do I stay at my 1200 calories? So what I do is I do your lit program, then I do your workout program, and then I do about another hour of cardio just because I am that woman. I'm just when I did your first program, it's just been ingrained in me that you have to do this hour of cardio. And I haven't been able to break away from that. I'm just going to be honest. So I just keep adding, adding.
There's no reason to break away from it though, if it's working for you and you enjoy it, and you know it's good. What's your goal, Laurie? What do you want?
I just want to get rid of, I want to get rid of the extra. Oh, I want to get rid of this little extra.
Okay, and how long have you been trying? How long have you been consistent
I've
with
been,
the training program? Consistent,
since
but
you
I mean,
started, this is, yeah, 7 weeks. I mean, I have been all in for 7 weeks.
okay, all in for
So,
7 weeks. And before that, you were a little inconsistent, were you? Back and
no,
forth?
I would take 2 days off, but I will tell you, like, I wasn't as regimented with my eating. Like, I log everything.
Brilliant.
Before it was like, yeah, no, I don't need to log that. Yeah, I could probably miss that. But now, like I said, no. So for 7 weeks, like I said, I've been very, very mindful. So, and like I said, and I finished the challenge. I started fierce, and I feel like here I am. Like I can tell that I'm still losing a little bit of weight, but I just feel flabbier. I'm like, I should be putting on more muscle. And once again, I can't help but not think that it might be related to, like I said, the amount of estrogen that my body is, like I said, the doctor told me, she said, I gave you enough estrogen to fill your tank to get you to this point. She says, but you have nothing left in your tank. So she said, we're going to have to just keep going from one step at a time. And I said, okay,
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
give me both. I like it all.
Well, one has to come first. Which one?
Give me the good.
Okay, so the good news is it's not your estrogen.
Okay. Oops,
I can
I lost you.
promise you that. Have you got
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
It's not your estrogen. And so that's the good news. The bad
Okay.
news is that deliver this softly.
No,
It's
do it. Just lay it on. I'm a really
teasing.
blunt.
I'm teasing.
I'm a really blunt person. Like,
It's
just give it to
going
me.
to take about a year
Oh,
for
fuck.
you to really feel that things are changing. It takes, so the problem is 7 weeks is a reasonable amount of time to make a good amount of progress, but it really does take 6 months at least to transform, and 6 months longer than that to really see a difference. So let me give you a story from my own journey at the minute. So I 6 months ago, I started, was about 6 months, was it before that? Let me think. I decided that I was going to start doing these dumbbell workouts. And I also had decided that I wanted to do a photo shoot in April. And I started doing I did the sculpt challenge, which had the dumbbell workouts and the cardio every day. And I had also started to diet a little bit before that. I'd cut my food down to 1,600 calories. So after Christmas, in January, I think it was actually in January, I can't believe, yeah, so it is 6 months. In January, I cut my calories down to 1,600 counted calories. So Monday to Friday, I was going to be eating 1,600 counted calories. And then on the weekend, I was going to stick to the 1,600 as much as I could, but I knew that I wasn't going to be really overeating, but I give myself a little leeway to have a little, a couple of drinks or whatever if I needed to. But 1,600 counted calories during the week. Now that's low for me because, my BMR would be much higher than that. But I thought I'm going to stick there and I'm going to see how I go. So I thought that my body would drop fat like a mofo because me on 1,600 calories with the amount of muscle I have, is very low. But I started to gradually lose weight, just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. Didn't really change much. I didn't really add in any cardio or change much about it until I started doing the sculpt program. So then whenever I started teaching the sculpt program, I was obviously doing a 30-minute training session and a 30-minute cardio session every day. But I'd already started doing dumbbell workouts before that, probably for about a month before that. So when I started doing the dumbbell workouts, because they are, as you know, high intensity, like they raise your heart rate like crazy. So you're burning fat as well as building muscle. That's when I started to notice an acceleration of the fat loss. And so it was very timely. I didn't change my calories. I was still on 1,600, but I did the sculpt challenge and it literally ended just before my photo shoot. And it was phenomenal because I inadvertently got shredded. So I did my photo shoot in April. April and I said I accidentally got shredded for my photo shoot. And I'm not stage shredded. I didn't have veins in my abs or anything,
Right.
but really quite lean in comparison to what I'd been before. And I used to think I was lean before, right? And it was only whenever I got lean then for the photo shoot, I realized, oh my God, I'm actually not that lean. So then just before the photo shoot, I'm very public about the fact that I then started microdosing Ozempic. So for inflammation. So I'm still microdosing Ozempic now. And what the Ozempic did for me was the Ozempic controlled my appetite. So I'm still eating 1,600 calories every day, still doing the dumbbell workouts. But what Ozempic helped me to do was maintain the 1,600 calories so much more religiously because it just cancels out all your food noise. So I eat breakfast, mid-morning shake, lunch, dinner, evening snack every day religiously, 1,600 counted calories. But I have zero urge to snack in between, none. And it was the little bits of snacking that were killing my calories, right? So I then continued on with the dumbbell workouts, cut out the cardio. So now what I do is I do 4 workouts a week and I do a cardio on a Friday, or sometimes I miss one during the week and I'll do it on a Sunday. But that's all I'm doing at the minute. That's all the exercise that I'm doing. No extra exercise, no extra cardio, no extra walking, nothing. Just religious with the calories, 1,600 calories a day, and very little alcohol because I don't even have the urge to drink anymore in Ozempic. And I'm just doing the dumbbell workouts every day. I'm now 6 months in. So the end of July, started this at the start of January. I'm 6 months in. I have dropped, I think from the start of January, I stood on the scales at 71 kilos, which is about 100 and, hang on, I'm going to work it out.
45, that's 152? No,
71, yeah, about that, I think. I thought it was
152?
148, 2.2, 71 kilos, 156. So
Okay.
I stood on the scales at 156, and then I stood on the scales yesterday morning, just out of interest, because I had 4 people yesterday tell me I looked skinny. And I was like, do I really look that skinny? My husband was like, yeah, Kim, you're like seriously lean. So I stood on the scales yesterday at 143. So I've lost 13 pounds in 6 months. And it's funny how but now I'm looking really lean. But like you, I now have like loose skin on my belly that I never had before.
It's there.
And it's like, oh, there's loose skin. But if I stretch it out, lift up, then it's gone. Now, what's my point? My point is I've been really strict with my calories, really consistent with my calories, using Ozempic to help regulate my insulin levels and also control my appetite. Doing the dumbbell workouts and the cardio once a week. And in 6 months, I've lost 13 pounds. So I was thinking about it yesterday. It's funny that you brought it up because a lot of people are like, 6 months, 13 pounds in 6 months. Is that all? Whereas, we expect to lose 13 pounds in like 4 weeks. And some people do.
Right.
Some people lose 30 pounds in 4 weeks or 25 pounds in 4 weeks on our 4-week shred. But it's not, that level is just not sustainable. It takes such a long time. Like 6 months is what, 24 weeks. So I've lost half a pound a week effectively. Half a pound of body fat a week. And if you lose half a pound of body fat a week, you are doing phenomenally well.
Right.
And so the problem is a lot of times we just have to readjust our expectations. And I am a seasoned athlete with a huge amount of muscle. People keep saying, why are you so lean? I'm like, because it's my job. It's all I fucking do is train and record. And like, I don't have time to eat anymore. Like you want to be really seriously ripped. Well, then get a job recording.
Get a job. Right.
So, but unfortunately, that's the downside. We don't, but I say it all the time. You'll have heard me say it a million times before. We don't realize just how long it takes. But if you set your sights on this time next year, I want to have this body, and then see how it goes to achieve it. But you just have to remain consistent. 1,200 calories is very low. It's not sustainable to be eating 1,200 calories. I would definitely increase your calories. I would go up to something that feels a little bit of a stretch, but manageable, maybe 1,400, maybe 1,500 calories.
Okay.
Like I
Because
definitely
I'm not a foodie. I'm not a foodie at all. And I like you, like I have a protein shake when I get home, and then I have egg whites, and then I have a huge salad with every vegetable known to man. Then I have, like fish and either quinoa or something like that. But I eat the same thing every day. So like food is not important to me.
I'm like that too.
It's just like I don't.
For me as well. Yeah, I find
Like
food.
my diet used to consist of Diet Coke and peanut butter M&Ms, if that'll tell you where I'm at with food.
That's so funny. So yeah, unfortunately, Laurie, that's the the
Okay.
thing that you don't want to hear, but is kind of sometimes good as well. Like, and I think it was, who was saying in the chat there, was it you, Dana? Carrie Hill was saying, yeah, it takes 3 years to really change your body. And it really does take 3 years, like 3 years to see. I remember at the very beginning, whenever I started and I was going to the gym every day and I was hip thrusting and squatting and I was working as hard as I could possibly work. And every day I looked in the mirror and I was like, damn this body, like surely I should have more muscle for the amount of effort that I'm putting in. But if you
Right.
think about it, muscle is just scar tissue. So muscle is basically scar tissue forming over you ripping your muscles. So if you are doing the workouts that I'm doing, we're not using mechanical stress, we're using metabolic stress. So we're causing trauma to the muscle by by shaking the metabolites, if you like, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's the trauma that's being caused, and that's why we can work the same muscle group several times a week. But your body then builds those back, repairs that trauma with scar tissue. So after every session, you're getting like the same amount of scar tissue that you would get if you like rub sandpaper on your hand and then you let it heal, and that layer of scar you would get, that's all you're getting after every
Okay.
session. And then we're like, why is it not taking longer? And it's like, because you're getting one little layer of scar tissue per session. But if you can think about, imagine you started, I use this analogy all the time. Imagine you started rubbing a piece of sandpaper, not just for you, but for anybody else who hasn't heard it. Imagine you started rubbing a piece of sandpaper on your hand and you rubbed it until it was almost raw, and then you let it heal for a week. And then you did it again a week later, and then you let it heal for a week and did it again. Imagine if you did that every single week for 52 weeks. After
Right.
52 weeks, you would have a big, hard lump of scar tissue on your hand. It's like getting calluses, like I have thick calluses in my hands from lifting weights and from riding horses. They build up over time. It's exactly the same. After a year, you would expect that to have a thick layer of skin, but you wouldn't expect it to be like a bulge.
Bulge.
No.
Right.
That's what
Right.
that's what you get after a year. So it just takes so much longer than we think. And some body parts will grow faster than others if we're strong in that body part. You seems like you've great arms, great biceps. It took me a long time to build a bicep and I still don't have huge ones.
Oh,
So
that's what my saving grace is, my shoulders and my
yeah,
biceps,
yeah. But the
So that
stomach,
was, like I said, from my accident, it was just, that's all I had was mostly upper body because the rest of my, lower body was shot.
it just
So it was,
takes so long to change your body and to build muscle. Like my mum has been training with Mark Getty for a year now, and she just turned 70 in July. She was sitting at the kitchen table the other day and she had her arms like this, and I noticed she now has delts. But she thought that in a year after training with Mark and how hard Mark trains you and like really going to failure on every set and going heavy, she honestly thought when she started training a year ago that in a year she was going to look like me. She really did. And then she's like, oh, well, I'm happy, but like I just thought I would have had more. I'm like, Mom, it doesn't work that way. But if she
right,
keeps training when she's 75, she will have a phenomenal body.
nominal body, right.
So that's how long it takes, unfortunately.
All right, all right. Well,
But
like
you
I
know
said,
what? You're doing all the right things. Don't
I
be afraid
love it.
to your calories if you want to. Like if you're happy on the 1200, then stay on them. But don't be afraid to, if it's working for you, don't change it. And if you're happy on it, don't change it. But don't be afraid to increase them if you need to, and just stay the course. It's the exercise and the consistency of the training and the workout sessions. That is the thing that will move the needle more than anything else. Over consistency for a long period of time will move the needle more than anything else you could ever imagine. And so you're absolutely doing exactly what you need to be doing.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
your
welcome.
time.
It was so
Thank
nice
you.
to have a chat with you in person. It
Thank
was
you.
lovely. You're so welcome. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask or chat about, or just nod or put up your hand, or if you Carrie's like, no, I'm eating, can't talk with my mouth full. Oh, and Shalawasu, is that what it is? Yes? Am I correct? Hang on, you have to pronounce it for me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Shalaswa. So I tell people think of a seashell. The accent is on the first syllable. Shalaswa.
Shalaswa. Okay, I love. Okay, the swa at the
Perfect.
end. Yes. Okay, Shalaswa. I hate it when you can't get people's name right. Whenever someone mispronounces your name, it's very hard to mispronounce Kim, in fairness, but I hate it whenever I can't pronounce people's names correctly. Laura is the funniest. You ever heard Laura like pronouncing people's names? She is absolutely hilarious. She can never get them right. I'm always laughing at her. Okay, anybody else have a question, or do you want me to take some from the chat here? Stick your hand up if you do. Yes, Barbie does. Excellent. No, she's saying no. Take them from the chat. Okay. Okay. So what else have we got here going on in the chat? Well, Carrie's asking about a face mask. Carrie, do you want to ask me in person about my face mask? You don't have to. Carrie's maybe in a busy place there. She's saying, what is your favorite face mask? And we have a lovely picture of Carrie here with her face mask on. Just love it. It's great. Carrie, you can unmute if you want. Don't worry if you don't want to. It's fine. Do you have a favorite face mask? I like to put a mask on early before the house wakes up. So I don't, Carrie. I don't use face masks. I don't do any stuff at home whatsoever. But I'll tell you what I do, which is what keeps my skin so amazing. People always say, why is your skin so smooth and so amazing? Retinol cream. Retinol, tretinoin, is that how you pronounce it? Tretinoin cream or tretinoin cream, tretinoin, I think it is. I get a prescription retinol cream. Here in the UK, I get it from a place called Roseway Labs. It has to be prescribed by an aesthetics nurse. And I don't use it every single day. I only use it, I would say, about once a month. I give myself like a crash course in it. So you need the tiniest little amount. I can't actually put it around my nose, and then because it burns my nose. And what actually happens then is I started using it. I used it on Monday and Tuesday. Monday night and Tuesday night. And then today, whenever I was doing the workouts, the sweat was actually burning my face. I was like, why is my face so stingy? It's because the salty sweat is burning it. So if you get a really good retinol cream, can't be a retinol that you get from like the pharmacy. It has to be a proper prescription one. And if you put that on your skin, you will notice within a day, like your skin, if you use it every single day for a week, your skin actually starts to peel off. I can actually like peel layers off. It's like a really incredible exfoliation. So that's the only thing that I would do. But apart from that, I go for, I get laser, which is it's awful. It's so hard. Like it's so painful getting it done. And then your face is flaming red raw afterwards. I have to drive home with a fan on my face like this, like literally fanning my face because it's so burny. And then your skin goes really rough for a few days, and then it just all starts, and then all the rough just starts to like peel away. But afterwards you have like, you're amazing. So I just get everything medical grade, unfortunately, because I just think that a lot of the stuff that you would buy at home really isn't. It's really not strong enough. You know, once you get to our age, you need something a wee bit stronger. So, sorry, I can't help you out. I really don't have a favorite face mask. Right. Krista is saying, I purchased the 30 programs last month, yay, and one of them is the masterclass on menopause. Given it was recorded 3 years ago, I think, and science advances, I'm wondering if there's any things you would update or change or viewpoints that you no longer subscribe to. Well, Krista, that is a really great question, except I can't even remember what I taught in that masterclass because I taught it 3 years ago. But I do remember a bit, actually. I think the only thing that I would update or change is at the time I was very into eating for menopause, and I was like, this is the only way you should eat for menopause, which is the menopause principles that we used to teach. And the menopause principles, for those of you who are not familiar with them, is avoiding eating anything that is white, was white, or could be white. So no white starchy carbs, no fruit, no liquid calories, eat 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up, and have 1 cheat day a week. So those were the principles that I derived from Tim Ferriss's principles in the 4-Hour Body. And I was kind of pretty religious about them. But actually, let me update you on how that has changed for me. Two ways it's changed. The first one was that whenever I went into perimenopause and kind of flying into full menopause, I wasn't able to eat that way anymore because my system started reacting really badly with beans and lentils and cruciferous vegetables. Like I would get so gassy and bloated. I could have a handful of black beans in my lunch, and then I would eat my dinner, and I would be up all night with a bloated, gassy stomach. It was terrible. So I had to stop eating all lentils, beans, legumes, and really cut down on my cruciferous vegetables because estrogen actually controls and nourishes your digestive system. So whenever our estrogen levels start to fall, even though I was on HRT, didn't matter. It never sorted out my digestion. So I then went back to eating in a calorie and macro controlled diet. And in a calorie macro controlled diet, I could basically eat anything. So I was able to go back to eating simple kind of bodybuilder style foods. So breakfast would be oatmeal, 30 grams of oatmeal with a scoop of protein powder and berries. So strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries, and some cinnamon. Then mid-morning, I would have my protein shake. Lunch, I would have seitan, scrambled seitan with rice and broccoli. No beans, no lentils, no legumes. And then dinner would be, again, some variation of seitan, or, I mean, to be honest, I even had to stop eating things like quinoa and couscous because those made me really bloated and gassy as well. So like my diet really just consisted of really simple, easy to digest carbs and rice and salads. And I sometimes could eat a few beans, but I had to be very careful when I did. So that was why I went back to counting macros and calories. And that is the one thing that I would say changed for me whenever I really went into menopause more deeply. In perimenopause, it was totally fine. But once I hit 46, I don't have a period very regularly now. And when one comes, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like totally shocked. So whenever that happened, definitely my digestive system suffered. So that was the one thing that I would change from what I was teaching there, is that if the menopause diet, where you don't count macros and calories, doesn't work for you, then if you count your macros and calories, you're going to get the same result. Now, I have one further thing I want to say about that before I move on to something else I want to talk about, which is a lot of people ask me, they say, well, how is it that we can now eat fruit? How is it that we can now have liquid calories whenever you didn't recommend them before? And the answer to that is about understanding how calories are burned and consumed. So your body, whenever you go into menopause, your body starts to create insulin resistance within the muscle cells and diverting more of the energy from the food that you're eating to fat store. So it doesn't want the muscles to absorb the glucose and convert it into glycogen. It wants to create more metabolically active fat stores around your middle, because the fat stores, which are metabolically active around your middle, actually can create estrone. Okay, so they are responsible for creating estrone, which is a weaker form of estrogen. That's why it happens. And so, oh God, I completely lost my train of thought there. Does that ever happen to you? You literally completely lose your train of thought. Oh my God, what was I going to say? I was going to go on and talk about the GLPs actually, and what happened. Oh my God. Oh, fat stores. That's what I was talking about. How fat is burned and consumed. You're probably all yelling it at me, right? But anyway, everyone's on mute. So the reason why, so then whenever I told everyone, or whenever I started teaching that you should eat the menopause diet, the reason is because whenever you eat slow carbs, you don't have a big spike of blood sugar. And a lot of what you're eating is fiber. So there's only a very small amount being passed through into the bloodstream to be absorbed. And because there's not as much sugar in the blood, what is available in the blood is absorbed by the muscles. So think of it this way. Let's say you have, just for argument's sake, let's say you have 30 receptors on the surface of the muscle cells that are available to absorb glucose and convert it into glycogen. 30 GLUT4 receptors are called. 30 GLUT4 receptors in the surface of the muscle cells. You have far more, right? But just bear with me. So in menopause, your body goes, okay, well, we don't want all of this glycogen, all of this glucose to go into the muscle cells. We want to create more estrogen producing fat cells. So we're going to close off 15 of these GLUT4 receptors. And we are only going to accept 15 units of glucose. And we're going to send the rest of the glucose to fat store, because if it's not stored, your body will automatically create fat cells out of it. Whenever you eat white starchy carbs, your body, let's say your blood gets 60 units of glucose. So 60 units of glucose are flooded into your bloodstream because you've just eaten a white starchy carb, has high osmolality, has very little fiber, so a lot of it goes into the bloodstream. But your body's only accepting 15. Because it's creating insulin resistance, it could accept 30, but it's decided it's only taking 15 units of glucose. So it will accept 15 units of glucose, and the 45 units of glucose that are left over, boom, are sent to fat store. Whenever you eat slow carbs that have lots of fiber, your body, because most of the food that you're eating gets passed through your digestive system as poop, you're only getting about 15 units of glucose into your bloodstream. So you have 15 units available to accept glucose and 15 units in your bloodstream. So those 15 units in your bloodstream are absorbed by the muscles, and there's nothing left over for fat store. So that is how in a very simple form, that's how the slow carb diet works for menopause. You are reducing the amount of blood sugar in your blood, so there's not as much left over to go to fat store, because all of it is being absorbed by the muscles, even though the muscles are insulin resistant, even though they are resistant to the insulin storing sugar in them. So you would say, well, oh my God, Kim, then if I am eating fruit and white starchy carbs and all of these things, surely then that means that, this is really bad, because I'm getting 60, if I eat a big bowl of fruit or whatever, I'm getting 60 grams of glucose into my bloodstream. And that means that, 45 of those is going to fat store, and that's really bad. Not necessarily, because your body has an energy demand. If you're eating more than the energy demand you're placing on your body, then you will not burn fat. But let's say you eat 60 units of glucose, 15 of them are stored, and 45 go to fat store. If your energy expenditure exceeds your calorie intake, then your body will re-break down the 45 units that it stored as fat into triglycerides and send them back to the muscles for energy. So it's almost like it's just making the process longer, right? Rather than you only eating 15 units and those 15 units being used, if you eat 60 units and 45 go to fat store, but your energy expenditure is high, the 45 are going to be broken back down for energy and sent back to the muscles. So it really doesn't matter. So when you're counting calories, as long as your calories are slightly lower than your energy expenditure, your body will burn fat. So it will primarily burn the food you eat as fuel. But if there's no glucose available in the blood, then it will burn fat, turn it into triglycerides and burn that as energy. So that's why both of them work. But the only way the calorie and macro counted one works is if the calories and macros you're eating are lower than your energy expenditure, or the same as, because that's how the fat gets burned off again. But let me just tell you one more thing. Since I started microdosing Ozempic, and it has to be specifically Ozempic, by the way. A lot of people say, like, could it be Mounjaro or tirzepatide? And it can be tirzepatide or Mounjaro, or sorry, retatrutide. Mounjaro is tirzepatide. So Ozempic it works on your GLP-1, which means glucagon-like peptide, okay? It mimics glucagon-like peptide in your body. It's an agonist, which means it sits on the cell and it forces it to open to accept more glucose. That's what it does. So it short circuits your body, creating insulin resistance in menopause. Game changer, ladies, literally game changer. So that's what GLP-1s do. They force your cells to accept the glucose that's in your blood because they're an agonist, number one. Second thing the GLP-1s do in microdoses, in larger doses too, but in microdoses, is they completely clean up your digestion. GLP-1s are created in the digestive system, and they're also created in the brain. And what the studies are now showing is that it isn't just a lack of estrogen causing problems for women in menopause with their digestion, it's a lack of GLP-1. Our body stops making this peptide as we get older. And a peptide is basically a short chain amino acid. So amino acid is the building block of everything in your body. Your muscles are amino acids. Everything your body does is it breaks things down into their simplest form, and then it links them together to form peptides, and then it links peptides together to form amino acids. And so your body, as you get older, stops making as much muscle tissue. It stops repairing tendons in the same way. It stops because your body's getting older, so you don't make as many amino acids. So your GLP-1 production is low. And whenever you microdose with something like Ozempic or Mounjaro or Wegovy or Zepbound or whatever, the Ozempic is actually better, and I'll tell you why in a second. What it does is it completely cleans up your digestive system. GLP-1s have been shown to reverse IBS. They cure IBS. They've been shown to reverse leaky gut. They've been shown to do incredible things for people with Crohn's disease. They heal your digestive system. I did not know this until I started taking them. And then I wondered why I stopped. TMI, I stopped farting. I don't pass wind anymore. I literally don't fart anymore, ever. And I was literally the fartiest person you will ever meet in your entire life. Everything I ate went through my digestive system, bloated me, and gas came out. I do not pass wind anymore. And my digestive system was always good. So this is definitely TMI as well. But every single time I go to the bathroom now, it's what I call a clean wipe. A clean wipe. Every single time. It's like it just slides out of you, right? And I'm like, like literally every single time. There's like your digestion, my digestion is healed. But apart from that, I can eat anything now. It's like I had the digestive system I had when I was in my 20s, but better. I can eat beans, lentils, legumes, chickpeas. Everything that was destroying my stomach is now available to me. I can literally eat anything. GLP-1s have healed my gut in a way that I could never have anticipated. And they are absolutely and utterly phenomenal. And apart from that, I don't have any pain in my hip whatsoever. It's gone. I am clearer than I've ever been. I don't get up to pee in the middle of the night anymore. I am literally such an advocate for this, for GLP-1s. It's unbelievable. I don't get up to pee in the night anymore. I don't wake up in the night anymore. My sleep is completely settled. My digestive system is healed. They are literally a wonder drug. And I am on the tiniest little dose every week. And I haven't increased because I've had no need to. And so if I just wanted to throw that out there for anyone who is it has heard about, Ozempic and Mounjaro and whatever. You probably heard all the horror stories. Oh, it gives you pancreatitis. It doesn't. If you have an issue with your pancreas already and you've been obese for a long time and you've been abusing your body, then yeah, it's going to probably, you maybe are at a higher risk of pancreatitis. But it hasn't actually been shown. There has been not one single case of pancreatitis in a healthy individual with an average BMI. Zero, by the way. All of the issues that you hear about that from all the scaremongering on the press are all in extreme cases of clients. They're people who have abused their body for years, who've been obese for years, been sedentary for years, eat the biggest pile of junk and crap, and are massively overdosed on the drug. But whenever you start it very carefully and very slowly, it is literally a wonder drug. And let me tell you, see, living without food noise, just being hungry at meal times and going, and like say living without food noise. A minute ago, I was like, oh, I was in a meeting with Tasha. I was like, Tasha, my blood sugar is low. And I went and I got like these vegan chocolate brownie things that my chef makes. And I had 2 of them. So it's not like you don't eat, like you do. You just don't have this constant urge to snack because you don't feel hungry, and it regulates your insulin levels and it just makes you feel amazing. So anybody here genuinely who is any menopausal woman, I honestly believe that any menopausal woman would benefit from taking GLP-1s because of what it does for your digestive system, because of what it does for your insulin regulation, because of what it does for your brain, your sleep, your gut, everything. Absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I literally used to be like, I can't eat beans and lentils and legumes, and now I can eat anything at all. Okay, Maiken Hedgard has a question. She says, hi Kim, thanks in advance for your thoughts on this. Question, I've recently noticed that the muscles in my left and right shoulders are significantly different in size. I assume this is mostly due to a nagging injury in my right shoulder. I did it on the 2nd week of my first program with Sculpted Vegan, EBM over 40. Oh, so annoying. Any thoughts on how to work towards evening them out? I've always used the same load for both arms, but perhaps favored the right somehow with bad form to reduce or avoid the pain. Nagging injuries are so bad. So the only thing I would suggest, Maiken, is, and you're not going to want to hear this, but if you want them to be even, if they look very different, you want them to be even. If you can't go any heavier on the injured side, go lighter on the other side. So if you can go heavier on the injured side, you can either go heavier in that one, or you could add a couple of extra sets or a couple of extra reps, right? But if you can't because of that and you want them to look even, you can go lighter on the injured size, which will reduce the size of it slightly, or you could not go to failure on that side, and that will reduce the size of the muscle slightly over time. But it takes a long time to build muscle, also takes a long time to lose muscle, believe it or not. So that's what I would recommend if you can't go any heavier on the injured side. But yes, you could add some extra sets, some extra reps, and go a wee bit heavier on that side if you're able to, and that is going to build up the muscle and correct the imbalance. Adriana, Kim, I wonder how you feel about taking NAD. So NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, which is a mouthful. What is your experience? So I am currently taking NAD. NAD is in fact, I'm gonna read you Google's just so I don't. Here's the one that I use, NAD at home. Okay, it's very expensive. It's about £350 for a bottle. So I use NAD at home. And NAD is, hang on, I'm going to tell you what they say about it here. Basically, it's a longevity peptide. It boosts your skin, it boosts your vitality, it helps to nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide is a coenzyme. Sorry, it's not a peptide, it's a coenzyme found in every living cell in our bodies. It's a crucial molecule involved in many biological processes, acting as a helper molecule for various enzymes to facilitate essential chemical reactions. NAD exists in two forms, the oxidized form and the reduced form. The interconversion between these two forms plays a vital role in maintaining cellular health and function. So basically, what does NAD do? I have no idea. I really have no idea. It's like people say to me, what benefits have you felt from taking it? I'm like, well, I mean, genuinely, I can't honestly pinpoint one and say, like, I know from the Ozempic, I can say the inflammation in my hip is gone. And I know at the end of the week when I'm due another dose, the inflammation starts to come back. And then as soon as I take a dose within 12 hours, inflammation is gone, like literally gone. So, but with the NAD, I started injecting it. I take it every other day. I've been doing it now for about 3 weeks. I have a 5-week course. Have I noticed any marked difference? Not specifically, but I feel incredible overall. I was telling someone this recently and they said, are you okay? Are you feeling all right? Or whatever. I was like, I literally feel like I'm 20 again. I feel better at 46 than I did when I was in my 20s. I'm so full of energy, so full of vitality. My body recovers every day. I'm lean. I sleep really well. I'm not stressed. I'm able to cope with life in a way that I just felt that I couldn't before. I feel incredible. Now, is it the HRT? Who knows? Could it be the testosterone? Who knows? Could it be the GLP-1s? Maybe. Could it be the NAD? Possibly. I'm also on BPC 157, which stands for Body Protection Compound 157. I'm injecting it into my hip to see, does that make any difference to the gluteal tendinopathy? And so could it be the BPC 157 or could it be the GLP-1s? Who knows? I can't say that one particular thing has helped me to be better the way I am now, but what I will tell you is there's no reason why the human body should age. There is no actual reason why the human body should die. Did you know that? If they can figure out a way to keep us young and keep us healthy, which I believe they're doing now, there is no reason that we should die. We die and we get older because our tissues start to degenerate and our bodily functions start to degenerate. But I honestly believe, and I don't know how long, but in however many years, people are going to be living till like they're 200 because they are going to be able to make us live longer and longer and longer and longer. So, oh yes, Laurie, I'll get to that in a second. So at the minute, with the amount of peptides I'm on and coenzymes and the supplements that I'm taking and the sleep that I'm getting and the workouts that I'm doing, I feel incredible. But NAD has been very well researched. It's very expensive. And well, it's like £350 for a little jar that I paid, which lasts me 5 weeks. So I guess that's what, £50 a week, more than £50 a week. So it is expensive for a 5-week course. Would I take it again after this course is finished? I don't know. I'll go off it and I'll see if I notice any benefit, any difference in myself from going off it. And if I do, then I might be like, oh, the only thing I've changed is the NAD. And then I may go back on it. I don't know. But it has been widely researched. It is supposed to be incredible for anti-aging, incredible for your skin, incredible for your health and vitality. So I'm giving it a whirl. I'm just treating myself like a little human experiment. Cryotherapy. Laurie, it's not needed. You don't need cryotherapy. Honestly, I've had it so many times. They say it like freezes fat cells and that kind of stuff. Genuinely, I never noticed any difference from having it. I think that a lot of these things are fads. I think a lot of them are sold as, ways. And I think that ways you can burn fat. I think if you have everything dialed in, like 100% dialed in, could you get a marginal gain from doing some kind of cryotherapy? Possibly. But I think that when you have everything dialed in, when you have your nutrition dialed in, your training dialed in, your cardio dialed in, your sleep dialed in, your recovery dialed in, I think that that's all you really need. The one thing that I do think, Laurie, though, that would be a great thing for you to consider, and I'm not sure if you ever have considered it, and you can unmute yourself if you need to, but one of the things that I think would be great for you to consider would be a GLP-1. Have you ever considered a GLP-1?
I'm going to tell you honestly, based on just from my accident everything that's going on in my body. I just got diagnosed with ankylosing spondylosis. So I said to my doctor, I said, I want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'll do the hard work. I don't mind doing the hard work. I said, but I have so much inflammation in my body because I've got so much metal in my body that something has to give. So I am definitely, and I spent 29 years in medicine. So it's something that is familiar to me. And I definitely am having that conversation with her.
You should.
So,
My mum
yeah.
started taking it. So whenever I started, she was like, do you think it would help my shoulder? And I said, well, like, give it a whirl and see. So she started microdosing. She calls here to the office once a week. And she didn't even want to tell anyone. She hasn't even told her husband. She's on them and she didn't want to tell anyone. But she calls here once a week and she gets her shot once a week. And she is on the minimum dose of what is she's on the whatever the weekly dose, the weekly recommended dose is, you know, the very starting dose. That's what she takes once a week. She's never increased. So she's on 0.25 milligrams of Ozempic once a week, and she has no pain in her shoulder at all. And she had such bother with her shoulder, with her elbows. Like on one side of, she would have like mucked out the stables. She all for days after, she was like, oh, my shoulder, all of her shoulder pain is gone. It is. And honestly, Laurie, whenever I love experimenting with it now. So if I get to the end of the week, quite often I split my dose now. So I will take half a dose on a Sunday and half a dose on a Thursday. Because what I was realizing was my dose day was always Thursday. And whenever it got to about Tuesday, and it's even today, like I start to get like a bit of a, but you know, I can feel it in my hip slightly. By Wednesday, a little bit more pain in my hip. Thursday, I take my dose. And in 12 hours, the pain's gone, like gone, zero, gone. And whenever then I couldn't understand why my hip pain was coming back a while ago until I realized that the peptides can only be kept for 56 days. So the one that I had here was about 8 weeks old because I'm microdosing it. And I thought, I'll just keep it for ages. But then I realized that the reason why I was getting my hip pain back a lot was that the peptides degenerate inside the liquid. As soon as they're open, they start to break down. And so I was maybe, you know, whereas before arbitrary number, I was getting 50 peptides per injection because the product had started to deteriorate. I was maybe only getting 25 per injection. And so I then doubled my dose of the old batch. And as soon as I doubled my dose of the old batch, the pain went away, completely went away. And then whenever I got the new one, I went back down to, which was a strong one, I went back down to the starting dose and again, completely fine, pain went away. So it's incredible. Like they are absolutely and utterly life-changing. I am a massive advocate for GLP-1s. And I think that we have been so missold information by the media and scaremongering by the media that everyone's like, oh my God, but they're really bad. And they give you scurvy and pancreatitis. And my friend died. I'm like, nobody dies from a GLP-1. Your body makes it, you know, and then
Makes them.
love to say me on Instagram, oh, but you're only thin because of the GLP-1s. I'm like, well, no, I'm not, because I'm eating the same amount of calories. And they're like, yeah, but you're on Ozempic. I'm like, okay, do you actually understand how the drugs work? And clearly they don't. I'm like, the Ozempic doesn't cause you to lose weight. It causes it dampens your appetite if in that you're taking it in the standard doses. So the reduced calories causes you to lose weight. I had a personal trainer fighting with me on Instagram the other day, and she was determined. She was like, it's because you're on Ozempic. You're telling everyone that it's your dumbbell workouts. It's because you're on Ozempic. And I said to her, do you understand how calories work? And she said, yes, yeah, of course I do. I'm a personal trainer. And I said, well, I was on 1,600 calories before I started Ozempic. And I'm still on 1,600 calories now after I've stopped after I've been taking Ozempic. So how is the Ozempic causing me to lose body fat?
Lose weight, right.
It's physically impossible. I said, it's not a stimulant. It doesn't raise your metabolism. And it doesn't do something magical inside your body, which causes your body to burn more body fat. It does regulate your insulin levels better, so you're not diverting the energy to fat store, but that doesn't matter on an energy balance anyway, because I'm only eating 1,600 calories. What it has helped me to do is stay on the 1,600 calories and continue to slowly lose half a pound a week. And that I've systematically changed my body shape on purpose, because that is what women of my age, of our age, want to look like I look now. They don't want to look like Kim, the big bulky bodybuilder. They want to look like me now. And so I've changed my body shape on purpose so that I can appeal to women my age who want to look like me. But it was astonishing to me. I was like, you're a personal trainer, and she obviously was very against GLP-1s, very against Ozempic on principle, because people are fearful, and they are fearful of what they don't know and what they don't understand. And so when I explained to her, GLP-1s don't make you lose weight. They're not some magic potion that causes your body to burn more body fat. They dampen your appetite, which stops you from overeating, and the eating reduced calories is what causes your body to burn body fat. And so once I explained that to her, she just blanked me.
Can I ask you a question? So when
Yeah,
you
of course.
noticed, like, taking the GLP-1s for your hip pain, like for me, like I said, I was actually internally decapitated. So my head is bolted on. So most of my pain is coming from my neck, you know, so that's where I get it from. So did you notice a reduction in your hip pain?
Immediately,
Immediately.
like
Okay.
within 24 hours.
Okay.
Within
Yeah, because
24 hours, it was gone. And now what I notice is if once I'm getting to dose day, that's why I split my dose now over twice a week. Because if with me taking half a dose twice a week, my hip pain is completely gone. But whenever I was only taking it once a week, it started to come back a little bit about 2 days before I was due to take a dose, and then came back the next day. So I was like, well, what if I split my dose? And that's been a game changer for me. That's worked completely.
Okay, yeah, because for me, it's like I tell people, like I use my head all the time. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Just like not use it? I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, I
no,
mean,
like
and
I
I
said, I
don't,
appreciate that because, like I said, you know, coming from that medical arena too, when GLP-1s first hit the market, like you said, there was a lot of negativity.
yeah.
And then, you know, when you start to peel back the layers, you realize that, you know, conventional medicine is just not really where it's at anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, like I said, I had to do some digging, and because like I said,
Well, the
that
other thing is,
mindset
Laurie,
is
they've been around for 30 years.
30
They've
years.
been used
Right.
as, but people say, oh, they're such a new drug. People don't know
No, they're not.
like,
No, they're
no, no.
not.
GLP-1s
No.
have been used for 30 years in people with
Right.
diabetes. 30 years. They
Right.
are one of the most well-researched and documented drugs on the market.
Right.
They've only just been used recently for weight loss. So
Right.
the drug itself is completely safe. Do you know they've been approved for use in children over the age of 12 now?
Wow.
12.
No, that I did not know.
Yeah,
That's,
because I was looking into it for my son who was carrying a bit more body fat. And I said to my husband, I know you're going to be super against this because he's super against anything. I was like, but given though this is a wonder drug, what do you
Right.
think about potentially getting Jack on the GLP-1s? And he said, okay, I am against it, but I'm not completely closed to it. He said, but why don't we, first of all, try to, like just get him more active and doing more stuff. I was like, yeah, 100% agree. Let's do that. And then we've been made a lot of changes at home recently. My housekeeper retired, Lorraine retired, and I didn't replace her. I did have cleaners coming in, and then they were off for a week, and I realized that I have like 3 children living at home and a husband who's like retired. So I was like, why am I paying like all of this money to have housekeepers and cleaners come in whenever I literally have a workforce at home? So I've actually stopped now. I stopped the cleaners coming, and so now I've just allocated jobs to all the kids. I'm like, right, here's your job, and here's your job, and here's your job, and I do all my cleaning on a Monday morning. I love doing my own cleaning again. It's amazing. I didn't even know how to use my washing machine. I'm not even kidding. And so I had to get someone to teach me how to use the washing machine. But anyway, so all the kids, so Jack's super active now. He's doing that, and he's losing a huge amount of weight, and so he doesn't need the GLP-1s. But my point is, anything that's been approved for use in children over the age of 12 is not approved by the FDA unless it's well researched and safe, and people don't understand that.
Right.
So yeah, and Barbie's saying here, wow, in 24 hours, I may try it mainly for pain relief. My back pain is on and off concern due to my scoliosis. My daughter has scoliosis. I don't want to keep taking Motrin. Barbie, my daughter, see if you want to unmute, you don't have to though, but my daughter has really bad scoliosis. And she's just got fitted for her final brace now. And she managed to straighten her spine quite a lot. I will show you. How bad is your scoliosis?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I had it since I was 8, and they put me in a cast for 3 years. But now I'm getting older, so the degrees are increasing. So
Oh, so hard. Well, like that was her when she was first diagnosed on
wow,
this side.
left.
That's what we managed to straighten her to over two years of bracing.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
Great.
really good. But you can see her cervical spine at the top is
It's by her heart, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just
So
like
But yes, the GLP-1s, honestly, for she's only 15, so I haven't started her on them, but she wears the magnetic, she gets really bad pain in her shoulder, which is the shoulder that's lifted by the brace. So she wears a magnetic wrist bracelet and a magnetic ankle bracelet on that side. And when she's wearing the magnetic wrist bracelet and the ankle bracelet, she's no pain at all.
Wow.
So you could
Yeah.
try that first if you didn't want, it's probably cheaper than the GLP-1s. I know they're very expensive in America. But I have a
Wow.
link, guys. I partnered with a telemed company called LEMD. So I have a link. Actually, let me get it for you now. I'll post it in the chat here. I partnered with I researched for a long time who I was going to partner with, and this company is extremely reputable. Let me find the link for you. And if you are going to buy it, please buy it from these guys because I also get a commission. But they do microdosing. Ugh, why is this not? It's not picking it up. Anyway, I can post it in the group for anybody interested. Because I don't want to. I don't want to. It's not letting me just log in, even though I saved my passwords. And of course, I should have saved my link, but I didn't. Password. No, I don't know. It's not there. It's not working. I could go into my history and I got it yesterday, but it would take too long. So I won't. But I will post my link. Here it is here. Okay, I've got it. I'm actually going to go in and do it. 1 second. Virtual office. Probably going to get me to log in again. Yeah, it is. Log in. Here we go. I'll post the link. Please buy it from here because these guys are really, really good. Share your site with others. Just click the button below. I think that's it. Let's see what comes up if I post it here in the chat. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, I don't know how to get it. You can tell like I'm so new to this. No fucking idea. That's really annoying that it hasn't. Go to my site. Oh, here it is. Oh my God, it's just lemd.com/Kim Constable. Well, how easy is that? Right, I'm going to post it here. If you go there, you can get, they do tirzepatide, and I actually think it's GLP-1s with GIP and also vitamin B, as far as I know, in there. So for only in America, unfortunately, at that link. So for those of you who are watching the replay, it's lemd.com/Kim Constable. Go there and check it out anyway and see. But I know they do microdosing, and you have an appointment with the doctor and whatever, and they get it, they sort it all out for you. But I don't know any other microdosing companies in America. I'm sure there probably are ones. I think it's easier to get hold of in America than it is in the UK. We're very heavily regulated here. But I am genuinely, anyone with inflammation, anyone who can't sleep because of menopause, anyone with digestive issues, I honestly believe everyone should be on the GLP-1s. My husband is now taking them. And let me tell you, my husband is anti-drug, anti-anything, anti-injections. And I have him now injecting BPC 157 and GLP-1s. And if Ryan is taking them, they're safe. Okay, this was great. Thank you. Let me just check very quickly. Did I miss anything in here? There was a couple from 2 weeks ago, so I'm assuming that Laura answered those from 2 weeks ago. Thanks so much for being here, guys. This was great. So nice to have a chat with you all. And I'm going to be here every week from now on. I don't have anything else planned, so you're going to be full up with Kim for the next couple of weeks. And all of you who are here but not Nancy in the group. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. All of you who are not don't have your cameras on. I'm so glad you were here, and I'm sorry we didn't have a chat. That was nice to see everybody else. Okay. Sending hugs and kisses.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you all in the app. Enjoy.
Ciao, ciao.
Or in the groups. I know there's people here as well from EMBM. So see you all in the menopause groups, and I'll see you back here next week. Be there or be square. Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks so much.